You're listening to The Burning Truth. Ladies and gentlemen, dude and dudettes, I'm your host Matt Burns, and I've got a absolute brilliant, it's going to be a special show today, especially for Mind the Slap, and I've even got a guest on today's episode, which is Patrick Scattergood. So, if you'd like to introduce yourself, Patrick.
Hi there, I'm Patrick Scattergood. I'm a trainee wrestler for Elevation Wrestling based in Leicester. And I'm the man behind Mind the Slap, a charity event on September the 8th that will hopefully raise a lot of money for the mental health charity Mind, which is a charity that's very, very close to my heart.
It's something close to my own heart as well, especially with the subject that they're actually covering, which is mental health. Now, I know in some cases not everyone talks as openly about mental health, but I think it's great that people like yourself are doing shows like this to actually put a positive spin and help with mental health as well.
Oh, definitely. There is a massive stigma around it, but the thing I've found since starting to train is quite a lot of my fellow wrestlers are very, very open about their mental health. And that in turn has helped me to be very open about mine, and I kind of want to push that a bit more forward for other people.
It's the best way how I put it myself, and when I've had conversations with friends and colleagues, is it's about having the conversation more, which is more important. It's about starting that conversation.
It definitely is. I fully agree with that. Sometimes people focus more on what the reaction will be other than actually having the conversation itself. And sometimes just starting that conversation, like you said yourself, is a massive help and goes a long way to showing both the people that fight with their mental health and also the people that may not know a lot of people with mental health issues to both combine and know more about it and know more about themselves and in turn help each other.
Exactly, which is where I think with mental health, it's about having the conversations as such, and it's actually been a big massive topic that YouTube's been covering quite a lot lately, especially with the certain YouTubers bringing up topics being burnt out as well. So it's a topic that does myself personally, it's close to my heart because I do think that mental health is a topic that should be discussed. But even if it's not as open as YouTube, or on this broadcast, even if it's just to a family member, a colleague, a confidant, it's still having the conversation, and it can do a world of good.
Exactly.
Now, with the whole show, how did the idea come about for the whole idea of Mind the Slap?
Well, I've done a few comic book conventions, running them myself for Mind under my comic book company of Dark Pond Creations. But I noticed the scene for that itself was starting to become a bit more stagnant, and I started to look for something to go alongside that in my life. And while going to wrestling shows, I started to stay behind and talk to the wrestlers because of how larger than life their characters were. And in talking to them about their larger than life characters, I found quite a lot of them weren't exactly the same as me. They all had their own various issues, and it was through talking to a wrestler called Joshua that he suggested that I maybe start coming to the Elevation training sessions run by Joe Connors.
Wow.
And I thought, it was kind of like a confidence thing of thinking, can I do that? I'd been massively unfit. Whenever I was sad, I'd literally eat anything. And from the very first session, just talking to Mr. Connors himself and Saxon Huxley, who was also there for my first session, it became clear just how much of a nurturing environment they run. And through that, I started to get more confidence, and I started to get more open at talking of my own issues. And it gave me the confidence to think I want to do another show for Mind because of how much help they've offered me in my personal life.
Yeah.
And I wanted to combine sort of the wrestling itself as well as Mind, to combine my two sort of passions. And then when I started talking to some of the guys I train with about wanting to do the show, I was absolutely blown away by how positive they were and how many of them said, give us a date, we'll be there. Tell us what you need, tell us who you need, tell us what you need us to do. And it all snowballed from there.
That sounds very familiar, almost a bit like when I found out about it. It sounds like, almost as soon as we had the conversation, and it was like, yep, I just need details, dates, and I'll be there.
Definitely, I've been blown away by sort of the community. Like, for example, I needed a replacement ref, and within 5 minutes of me putting it on Facebook, I had nearly 40 inbox messages and 2 phone calls with people offering to help. And it's just such a great community, and I've been absolutely blown away by it. And it's not hyperbole to say that it's sort of changed my life in a way of, beforehand, I never used to socialise and never used to go out. It would be an absolute battle for my poor wife Ashley to get me to go out the house at all, other than to go to work and back. But now I end up going on nights out with the wrestlers and with the people I've met through the wrestling, and it's giving my life a 360, so to speak. So being in that community and part of it has really opened my eyes to just how supportive that community is itself.
I'd say you could possibly even say it's going on almost like a second. It's almost like a second family.
Oh, it definitely is. Sort of at the elevation sessions, they do call themselves like a wrestling family, and they've even taken on my little lad Cyrus, who's got special needs, as almost their like little mascot for some of the wrestlers and things. And they always keep an eye out for him at the shows. They always come and say hi and take pictures with him, and it is literally like sort of a whole family. And if one of us has a problem, all the others band around no matter what it is to help. And it is literally, like you said, like a wrestling family itself.
Yeah, it's one of the major aspects of wrestling that I'm passionate for, definitely, because everyone looks out for everybody. It's a nurturing environment, and when you've got so many people to stand, to help prop you up, it can be make you more enthusiastic, more outgoing. Like you said, it's done wonders for you.
Oh, definitely, and it's been people that I've seen on YouTube videos that I've seen going to shows that I've really looked up to, like Joe Connors and Saxon Huxley and White Tiger and Johnny Alpha, and then to get to train with people like that and find out just sort of how amazingly nurturing they are, it's absolutely blown my mind.
So it's absolutely brilliant. So so I take it with this for the Mind the Slap show, it's almost like coming full circle.
It really is. It was kind of like I lost my confidence doing one thing, but then doing something that's completely the opposite to what I would have normally have even remotely thought of doing. And now I'm here sort of doing an actual show and like arranging it. And just a year ago, I would never have thought of myself even remotely thinking of doing this.
With life and with wrestling in general, expect the unexpected. never say never. You know, a lot of them old sayings can come in, but you never know, you never know what you're going to get. But one thing I've always stated with wrestling, it's always about the journey and the family. That, you know, as a lot of people can say, it's, you know, it's a group of friends getting together. I'd say it's more of a group of, you know, a family that's constantly building, and it doesn't just reach out to just the wrestlers. It also reaches out to the fans.
Oh, definitely. Just even taking my son Cyrus, who's got reactive attachment disorder, to the shows. He's not been to very many. He's been to about maybe 6, and it's really helped to bring him out his shell. And knowing how kind sort of the wrestlers are themselves, to see him go from hiding behind me whenever anyone new was around, to him literally bounding over to people like Jade or Bobby Tyler and actually asking for an autograph or asking if he can give them a hug or things like that. It's really heartwarming just how much progress in people you can see just from even just going to the shows, let alone sort of training for them.
Just hearing stories like that can make you know the people with the hardest of hearts even well up. It's amazing what can be done, and it's an absolute great cause what you're doing with the Mind the Slap. But one thing I will say is I actually noticed a few of the names on the card, and I've got to say you've got some quality wrestlers on the show, absolute top of the range.
I was actually blown away and pleasantly surprised just how many people said yes, because I thought I'm chancing my arm asking most of these people if they'll be on the show. And out of everyone that I asked, I only had 5 rejections, and they were only because they were already booked. And they even got back to me saying if they hadn't have been booked, they would have done. And it was just to see so many people going, yes, give us dates and times, and we're good to go. Especially with Pastor Eva, didn't think in a million years I'd get him. Same with Catherine Cage, didn't think in a million years I'd get her. But the minute I said about it, they just needed dates and times, and they signed on the dotted line, so to speak. Straight away.
It's with mental health. It's something that everyone can get behind, and it's great that you've got so many great workers, so many great wrestlers all banding together. But I will state, with the show, which is, if I'm not mistaken, it's this Saturday, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Saturday the 8th at New Park Social Club, Leicester.
Mm-hmm. Have you got any ticket prices as such?
What was that, sorry?
Have you got any ticket prices or where people can get the tickets?
Ticket prices, it's £6 for a single entry, or if you're coming in a group of 4, it's 20. They're available on the door, as always with most wrestling events, or you can get them from www.mindtheslap.bigcartel.com.
So please check that out if you want to get your tickets. And if I'm not mistaken, you've got a full card, some special prizes on the day and everything as well.
Oh, definitely. The advanced ticket holders have all been entered into a competition. Ooh. And they're going to win prizes for that. We've also got prizes set aside for people that buy on the day as well. And we're going to be running a raffle and in-ring photos as well. And we've got a full card of 8 matches, which we have tried to make as varied as possible, because we want absolutely everyone to find as much to enjoy on the card as is humanly possible.
That absolutely sounds brilliant. It's brilliant. Would you care to share some of the matches that you've got in store?
Of course. We've got a 4 corners women's match, which has Veronica Blaze, who is best known for wrestling in Aspire Wrestling based in Derby, against Athena, against Hardy Harris, and against UKW Women's Champion Alfie Rogue. Ooh. We've also got Rebel Kenny, against Kat Von Cage. We have a 5-on-5 Survivor Series style elimination match, which will pit Team Party Rockers, which is led by the party boy Grazza Gates, against Team Best of the Best, which is captained by Samuel Best from Elevation.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the White Tiger versus Cage versus Pastor William Eva. We have the Devil's favourite bounty hunter, Joshua, against the Greatest Showman, Mr. Charles Crowley.
Ooh.
We have a brother versus brother tag match, in that they want to push together and push each other's boats and see who can be the better brother on the evening, which will be Ricky Alpha and Barbie Rogue against Johnny Alpha and his chosen partner of Luna Rocks from House of Pain Wrestling.
Ah.
We have TJ Sky, who is, hand on my heart, one of the best high flyers I've seen in a British wrestling ring for years, against the Sensei of Submission.
If I'm not mistaken, with TJ Sky, isn't he the New Breed Wrestling Association Cruiserweight Champion?
I do believe he is, yes.
Yeah. So straight away, you've already got some top talent on there, and like when you mentioned Pastor William Ava, who's been on Defiant Wrestling as such, Progress World Champion. You've got some top quality guys there. Definitely.
And TJ's going up against a multiple tag champion in Renshi, who is the Sensei of Submission.
Ooh.
And then to end the evening, we've got a big triple threat tag match, which has Forever Young, the Rainbow Express, which is Dan the Man Tucker, and the Unicorn King Jason Joshua against Vicious and Delicious, which is Warren Banks and Simply Delicious Morgan Black.
That's straight away there. It's you know, as soon as you mentioned it, you know, I've already got my tickets. I'm definitely going. You know, I'm pretty sure that everybody who's probably listening again is probably thinking, you know, straight away, straight away I was probably thinking that's definitely a great show and for a great price. That's a great show. A card of that show is absolutely stacked to the deck. Got some, you know, from top to bottom. It's almost like top building that you've got on there straight away. You know, I'd go far as say it's a show that shouldn't be missed and is one that I recommend everyone to go. And that's not just because of it being for charity. It's a great show. It's got some matches I definitely want to see.
Oh, definitely. That was the joy of putting the matches together. I thought, as a wrestling fan, if I was coming to a show, who would I want to see? And I felt like a little kid thinking, oh, I could put this wrestler against this wrestler. So even as the guy running it, I'm excited to see what these guys can pull out.
Yeah, I can imagine it. I can imagine it as you're going through. It's just like I compare this person here, I compare this person there, and if I'm not mistaken as well, in some of the matches that you've just mentioned, you did actually release some matches on the social media.
I sure did.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, some of the matches have actually changed around. So as always, you know, we're subject to change just in case.
Definitely, yes. Thanks to the wonders of time and travel.
I just thought I'd just throw that out just in case for you.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
But straight away from that is a card that is absolutely brilliant, and like with you saying with the Alpha brothers, you know, are they actually going to try to see which brother is the true Alpha?
I'm seeing it as they contacted me with the idea of seeing a little bit like brotherly love mixed with quite a bit of one-upmanship, just to see sort of who can come out on top. They've had their various battles before, and they want to push each other's abilities and to pull something new out of the bag, and maybe even to outdo one another. So I'm very excited to see what they can do, especially with them being brothers and knowing each other so well. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to pull out as a surprise.
Definitely. And also, what I noticed that you mentioned you got a multi-person tag, didn't you? Was it four? Was it 4-on-4?
5-on-5 Survivor
Was
Series.
it 5 on
start
5?
back, yes.
Right. So 5-on-5, and you've got you've got like the team Party Rockers versus team Best of the Best, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it is. Yes, and they've amassed their teams, and I must admit they've both chosen two very well suited teams. So I'm wondering who's going to come out on top.
Definitely, because straight away, it's like with you saying, if I'm not mistaken, the Party Rockers, that's the Party Boy. Is it Graza Gates?
Graza Gates, yes.
Graza Gates, and he's teaming up with the Future Shocks Wrestling chosen Ethan Allen, Bobby Gage, and Randy Matthews, as well as UKW TV champion, the Jester J-Ro.
Yep, sure have. He's chosen a very young and up-and-coming team, which, while it might seem risky on paper, they're very, very talented, and they're very, very, very unique offense-based, so that's going to be a good one.
That it is, and then you've got like Samuel Best, who is, he's reassuring that he's got the best, the best team that money can buy, with people like Drake Winters, Frank Wester, Mark the Slav, Alex Connors, and with himself wrestling, of course. Now, a few in that team I've actually met personally myself. I've seen Frank Wesker up and down on the road as well. He is quite the tough. He's very, very tough mannered, and I've seen him go through almost hell and back in some matches. Another name I noticed straight away, Drake Winters. I've even actually shared the ring with him. I believe I shared the ring with him last month at United Wrestling when he was trying to slap the taste out of my mouth.
Sounds like him, yes.
Yeah, it definitely does. And if I'm not mistaken, he was basically saying that we should all kneel to him. But lo and behold, you've definitely got some absolute stellar matches there, top to bottom. I can't fault you on it. Now, with all this, once this is all done, I actually, have you got any future plans for after, for the show or as such, or for the wrestling?
Well, we're hoping, if the show sort of goes well, which I don't see why it wouldn't, touch wood. I'm hoping to make it maybe like a yearly thing, maybe a twice yearly thing.
Yeah.
And to sort of keep the ball rolling for mine, so to speak, because it's such an integral part to so many people's lives. It would be almost a shame not to try and help them as much as they help everyone else.
Yeah. Well, I will say, you never know, because next year you could end up having other wrestling companies involved potentially.
That is very true.
Because I know a lot of wrestling companies wouldn't mind helping as such, because I know there was a wrestling for their mental health recently, which had about between 5 to 7 companies all banding together, and putting on shows to help out mental health as well, if I'm not mistaken, for Mind as well. But it's definitely something I'd love to see.
It was, yeah. Definitely, I do like to see shows where it's got multiple people from multiple promotions, just because it really boisters the sort of community feel of it all.
Yeah.
Especially when they all sort of jump in and say, "Here's our best guys, go for it."
Yeah, and it's not. And to me, it's not just that. It's also it's like we're putting the egos aside to help mental health.
Exactly.
Which is always I've always got to praise, and I've got to once again praise you again for putting on, for attempting something as amazing as Mind the Slap. Is everything okay?
Thank you very much.
Oh no, that's right. You're welcome.
I mean, it's been hard work, but it's definitely going to be worth it seeing it sort of in motion and then to see the end result for it.
Well, one thing I can definitely state to you, myself, Matt Burns, the Burning Truth will definitely be there at Mindless Lap. Hopefully, I'm hoping I can get front row seats or best seats as such. To try and just watch this show. It's definitely going to be one to watch. Definitely, it's one I'm going to be definitely there to watch for. Definitely.
And I truly hope from the bottom of my heart that you enjoy it, as I do sort of with everyone else.
I have no doubt in my mind whatsoever that I will 100% enjoy the show. I think, it's almost feel good in its own right, and I hope that it's able to bring as much. As much charity towards Mind, and also help it, progress further along, because as I've always stated with mental health, sometimes it's not always just about just stating I need to get this solved. It's more or less of I need to talk.
Definitely.
And it's great. So I think that's going to be a nice place to more or less wrap this up. Wouldn't you agree? In regards to in regards to discussing about the show.
Definitely. All I'd like to add is the doors are going to open at 5 with a 5:30 ring bell time. Mm-hmm. And that we're extremely proudly sponsored by Alma House Therapies, which is based in Leicester. Which not only does counselling and various mental health therapies, they also do a lot of aromatherapy as well. So whichever way they can possibly help you, they will.
Yeah. So, well, I was just about to say, is there anything you want to plug or any suggestions you want to mention? So straight away, there's the first plug straight away there. Is there anything else you want to plug? Straight away, is there anywhere anybody can donate for Mind?
Yes, there's plenty of places where you can donate to Mind, whether it be so they've always got an ongoing Just Giving page.
Yeah.
You can, even if it's just a case of you donating things to their shops, please do, because that brings them in so much money and that helps so many people.
As much as it's a Tesco slogan, what I'm about to say, it is true in what it says. Every little bit helps.
It really does. Even if I've always said to people, even if you can't make it on the night or you can't buy the merch from people, some of the wrestlers are very kindly donating some of their money for merchandise sales as well to go towards the total we're raising. Even if it's just throwing 20p in our collection buckets that we're going to have in there, even if that 20p will help. Even just showing up and saying, guys, go to this, it will help. So sort of any way possible that you can possibly help such a wonderful charity such as Mine, then please do, because you never know what kind of lives they're going to change for the better.
Definitely. And, straight away, and one of the biggest ways you can possibly help out is by attending the show, because straight away, you've bought a ticket, you've put towards helping Mind, and you also get some wrestling as well. So, some great wrestling.
Exactly. What more could you ask for? You do a good cause, and you get to see some, hopefully, good matches that you might not have seen before. Because we've honestly tried to pair people up with people that they may not have wrestled much before, or in the case of TJ against Renshi, it's a first-time matchup. So hopefully there'll be something new for the people in the crowd.
Exactly. You got some first-time matchups. You got some good matches. You got it from top to bottom. Some entertainment else, for everything. And is there anything else that you want to give a shout out to or any shout outs to anybody?
Well, I'd be very remiss if I don't mention the school I go to, Elevation Wrestling, also based in Leicester, because just going there has literally changed my life, because I wouldn't have even thought of doing this before going there. And I know that they've got a show coming up on, I believe, Sunday the 16th of September, which is at Newbold Verdon. And quite a few of the guys that are on Mind the Slap are there as well. And I'd also be massively remiss if I didn't mention the wrestlers Joshua White Tiger, Joseph Connors, Johnny Alpha, and Renshi, who have all been a massive help, as has Mr. Charles Crowley and Alfie Rogue. Alfie Rogue specifically has been brilliant at letting me open up about my mental health and how that affects my wrestling, and I've hopefully done the same for her. And I'd be massively remiss if I didn't thank my friend Golda Evans, who's travelled all the way from Scotland to help with the show, and also my long-suffering wife Ashley, who's had to put up with so much while I've been planning this for months and months and months, who's also helping out on the show.
And it's all for a great cause, and straight away, anybody who is I know, if I'm not mistaken, you've also got some of the photography done by the UK Wrestling Media.
Yes, we have. UK Wrestling Media have gone absolutely above and beyond to help us, definitely, both with getting the word out about the show, and with advice, and coming on board saying that they'll do the filming and the photos, and they've absolutely blown me away with just how generous with their time they've been, and how generous with their advice they've been, and just the fact that they're even coming down to cover the show. I'm absolutely blown away by it.
Well, straight away, they do actually believe in it, and it's something. As soon, even though they mentioned it to me, they were the ones who actually mentioned it to me, to sort of as soon as they mentioned. Well, I even answered the question before they even finished it, because as soon as they went for ask the question, I just went, "Yep, okay, I'll help out." Because I knew where it was going. But then they pretty much, because they actually believe in it as well. So straight away, they're helping out. I've got to say a massive thank you to anybody who is involved at the show, be it from the people who are just doing the tickets, people who are just putting the chairs up, probably doing a bit of tidying up. Thank you to all them people, because without them, a show couldn't be as great as what it will be.
Definitely, I couldn't have honestly have asked for a better team of people to be involved.
And I'm absolutely delighted. So, is there anywhere anyone can catch you on social media to possibly either discuss discuss further about Mind the Slap and such?
We obviously have the event page, which is on Facebook, which is just at Mind the Slap. Yeah. So we have a lot of announcements and things on there. I'm also on Twitter, where I'm very vocal about my mental health and how it affects both my life and my wrestling, and that's at Corvin_wrestler. And I honestly urge anyone to find the Mind Facebook page and their Twitter page as well, because they have so many links and articles and so much useful information that can help sort of people, no matter what their situation, whether it be them suffering of their mental health or a family member or a friend.
Yeah, no, definitely, because it's something that I've always stated myself. With mental health, if you can get any information on it, check it out, because that information could end up proving helpful either to yourself or to someone that you may know, and you never know who you could end up helping.
Exactly, and sometimes just even a simple "Are you okay?" can do so much in the world of good. And it's like my late father always said, sometimes just a smile.
Yeah. sometimes just a smile can do a world of good.
Exactly. Sometimes it can even turn sort of the day around.
Definitely. So I'm pretty sure that everyone can catch you on your own social media. Like you said, you got your Twitter. You've also got your Facebook, which if they are interested in sending you messages, they can probably find you at Patrick Scattergood. Is that correct?
Yes, they sure can.
So if
And
anybody,
by all means do. I'm more than happy to talk about the show, about anything with anyone, even if it's just they need advice on mental health. By all means, drop me a message.
By all means, definitely. So I think that's going to be a wrap up for this episode, and I've got to say thank you very much for being on this episode, and for also help create such a great event.
And thank you very much for having me.
Well, it had to, it's something that's close to my heart, mental health, and it's straight away. It's the major reason why I wanted to do this episode, more importantly, is for mental health and the fact that it's for such a good cause. And I felt as though when I normally do my broadcast on a Sunday, just a quick mention wouldn't be enough. Just a quick, simple mention of it wouldn't do it justice. Which is why we're all here. You're listening to us live. If as such, either on Spreaker or on the Burning Truth website. But one thing I will state is anybody who is listening, thank you very much for listening. And if anybody wants to either reach out to the Burning Truth, either just for a quick discussion, talk about wrestling, or as such. The inbox is always open. The inbox is always open. So, with that, I think that's going to be a nice wrap up for us for this episode. As such, so I'll hopefully catch you on Saturday.
Definitely.
So, hopefully we'll catch any of the listeners there as such, and I'll hopefully catch them on Sunday on the usual broadcast, which is on a Sunday, 9 o'clock UK time, GMT, base time. But as always, I've always stated, I hope everyone stays well, stays safe, and as always, check out your local wrestling. We'll hopefully catch you sometime soon. Till then, catch you later.